Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. I'm super excited to be joined by Nick and Gabe from Cricket for Americans. And I think you guys are also part of the CFA Nation, isn't that right?
You know it, man. CFA Nation, brother.
I was going to try and say it like you, but I thought I probably shouldn't. So I'll let you do it. But how are you both doing? You all good?
I'm fine, man. Out here in sunny California, enjoying the rays on spring break, enjoying a little vacation time with the family. Cannot complain, brother. West Indies had a good day earlier today. The second day, first inning. You know I'm a bro. Nick, you've been working with me so long. You know that pretty much every single video we do is gonna end up in two things. It's either a Gabe Rant Fest or Rant Fest, you know what I'm saying? Or it's a Gabe, me, self-glorification, me. That's all it is. Come on now. What am I supposed to talk about? Stocks and bonds? Come on.
Oh, I learned that a long time ago. What's up, everyone? Quality Shot Nation. How you doing? Nick is here with Gabe, and I'm doing good. I do the opposite of Gabe. I got my family out of the house. They're gone for a few days, so I'm just enjoying some quality time, if you will. We got baseball season starting pretty soon, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, you guys, I think, are doing a stream, aren't you, for baseball alongside the cricket? So that'll be interesting. That'll be cool. Nice little baseball stream going on as well. And I heard, and I have to mention it because I saw it on one of the comments for one of the recent videos, that Nick, there was apparently a comparison drawn between you and Mark Ruffalo. So I need to get your opinion on it. Are you flattered or not?
Listen, that is a complete insult to Mark Ruffalo. Absolute insult to that man. But I'll take it. I love Mark Ruffalo. Who doesn't? This guy, not only is he a phenomenal actor, but he did something that I didn't think he was going to be able to do, and that was replace the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton. I'm one of the few people that I was in that Edward Norton camp. I was a huge fan of what he did in that film. But I mean, it's 10 minutes on screen with Mark Ruffalo. And okay, he's a new Bruce Banner. He's fantastic. So I'll take it every day. I'll take it. People tell me that my oldest son looks like me, and I always reply with the same thing. Please don't tell him that. Don't crush his hope, please.
You know what's funny? I honestly thought the same thing, man. And more so, Nick has that beard, but whenever he shaves and he's clean shaven, man, you can actually tell, bro. You can see it. So, but again, it's an insult to Mark Ruffalo. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I thought we'd start off. This is going to be, I said to you guys before, it's going to be more of a fun, kind of loose discussion, cricket-based, of course. Well, trying to be cricket-based, as we'll get Gabe back in a second. He's back. And it's okay. It didn't frazzle me. I'm here. But let's start off with something that actually, we'll go to you, Gabe, because I think this is a topic that's very close to your heart. And let's start with Johnny Bairstow, because I hear about Johnny Bairstow a lot in your videos.
Oh my gosh.
Perfectly, it would make you very comfortable at the start of the video. So I wanted to give the floor to you, and you can tell me what Bairstow means to you.
You know what? Is there a more infuriating player in cricket than Johnny Bairstow? Honestly, is there? Because here's the thing. I guarantee you that the English selection committee feels the same way. The English fans feel the same way. Bro, Johnny Bairstow feels the same way because he's too good to drop, but he's too bad to count on consistently. You know what I mean, dude? And it's so frustrating. Like, I was one in the IPL saying, man, Bairstow is one of the best players. He'd go out there, get a couple of hundreds, and then he'd get a duck. And his style of play is so reckless because even when he's going good at times, he'll get dismissed on the dumbest shots. You know what I mean? He'll try a reverse sweep. Like, why? What are you doing? And it drives me absolutely insane. So I think that the thing about Johnny Bairstow, and again, go back and look at this last series, right? He had some really good games, and then again threw away his wicket. Even when he was played a good innings, throw away his wicket. He's just an undisciplined player, but the talent is, I mean, he oozes talent, bro. He absolutely oozes talent. And it is what it is. I permanently put him in my Sinister Six, which means just like when I broke up with Smudge, no matter how good he is, I will no longer be singing his praises. I will no longer be sending him DMs. I'll no longer be sending him, or whispering sweet nothings into his ear. But he's still got a soft spot in my heart. But it's oh gosh, Bairstow. Honestly, I guarantee you, if he was being honest, he himself would say, "Oh yeah, the way I play drives me crazy." Come on.
You know what? I actually think if you asked him, he'd probably say I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I think probably because he definitely seems like someone who's got he's not lacking confidence, let's say. And I think in the test arena he's probably done in the Red Bull stuff, because that was definitely very infuriating recently with all those ducks. And then obviously he performed a bit better, probably not as much ranting from you guys because he hit 150 plus scores. So, but then a bit of infuriating in that last one. You know what? I just very briefly as well wanted to ask you, Nick. It seems like you've adopted India as your team. I wanted to ask you, how's that come about? Let me know, because as a Pakistan fan, I need to just ask you why has that happened?
Let me start off by saying nothing but love, my friend, nothing but love. So I am by nature a loyal person. All right, I will give you friendship, I'll give you trust until you ruin that and you mess it up, right? So with Boring Review starting off as an American channel and then it morphed into an Indian reaction channel quite naturally, we got so much love, so much support from so many people, not just in India, but people that either are from India, they're living here in the States, or living in India, or have some kind of connection to India and other parts of the world as well. So when it came to choosing a cricketing team, I felt I was given a lot of love and support, so I want to give a lot of love support to the Indian fan base and the Indian cricket team. I had no idea, because we knew nothing, that India had a storied career in cricket. I actually, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I heard that West Indies won the first 2 World Cups. That's right, Gabe. I threw him some love. That's all I heard about was those first 2 World Cups. I didn't even know that they had won a World Cup, and so I kind of thought like I was choosing like an underdog team. No idea that like half the population plays cricket in one way, shape, or form and loves to watch it. So that's how it started. And then me and Gabe, and this was all Gabe's fault, so it's all his idea. He's like, let's always have a rivalry. Let's choose opposite sides. And so he was getting a little too much love on both channels. My ego was not able to handle that. So I had to jump right on India to get some extra love so that he couldn't get it. So, I mean, that's a little tongue in cheek there, but the first answer was the real answer.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, to be fair, you couldn't have picked a better team considering they're probably in their golden generation at the moment. And they do have a storied career, but they're probably not as strong as, this is probably the strongest you're going to see India. Well, currently anyway, they look really, really good. And you mentioned the reaction vids. I've seen a few of them and they're really, really good actually. You've done quite a few for cricket. So I wanted to get your opinion from both of you actually. I'll start with you, Gabe first. A reaction vid that you've seen cricketing wise, what was the best one that you've done so far or seen and you've been so surprised by that it's kind of popped out to you? Whoa, I can't believe that happened.
Like a reaction that we did that blew up, you know what I'm saying? Probably the sledging video. Here in American sports, it's really, for whatever reason, over the last few years, there's been this movement to honestly almost take the fun out of sports. You know what I'm saying? Players get penalized for having fun and just, showing up another player. There's this player in the NFL. His name was Terrell Owens. He was a master of creating celebrations after he caught touchdowns in American football. And he would literally know he was going to get fined 20 grand a game for celebrations. And, Major League Baseball, same thing. So the sledging, it's funny because all we kept hearing was cricket is a gentleman's game. Cricket's a gentleman's game. Cricket's a gentleman's game, right? So I'm like, okay, I did not expect that. So when that came out, I was like, oh, this is super cool. And then the fact that everybody responded to it like that, it shows that there's still room in the game for it to be fun and for there to be a little sledging and not for it to be so serious. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, and my boys who both play sports right now, one in high school, one in college, I try to remember, guys, it's a game. All right. You're not on the battlefield. Like, this is not, you're not stuck in a cave somewhere, or you're not, a deep undercover against the cartel. You're playing a game. So let's have fun and not take it as seriously as others would like to.
Okay. The sledging one, yeah. Sledging is it's a dark art, let's say, in cricket. And now with
a dark art.
Now with stump mics and stuff, you can't really get away with that as much because you kind of F and blind and then you get fined. But back in the days, you could just whisper into people and it would go missing. What about you, Nick? What's a good one you've done that you've thought, you know what, I can't believe that just happened?
So it's kind of funny you mentioned being a Pakistan fan, because there was a reaction we did for Pakistan, the land of pace and swing, I believe that's called, or swing and pace. And it was a request from one of our patrons, I believe. And this was one of our first Cricket Tuesdays that we did. Me and Jody, we reacted to it. And the first day, the first week, the first few weeks, like no one really watched it. And I'm like, oh, we must have picked a bad video or something. And then all of a sudden, like after a month or so, the views started increasing like out of nowhere and kept increasing. And I'm just like, every day it was exciting for me, like, because I'm a numbers guy. I don't really care about this or that, but I like numbers. And so when I see numbers going up, I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. But in that video, we had learned about how Pakistan has that reputation, especially from the past. I know they still born and breed all these pace and swing guys, but that was the first I had heard that there was a difference between pace and spin, that there was different types of bowlers. Me being stupid and novice, just thought they all just ran up and just threw it and did the best they could. I didn't know there was different styles. So that video was surprising on how it was reacted. And it still has like over 130,000 views, which is so awesome. But also because what we learned from it, and from that video, I don't know if it's just because of like the positive vibes we got from that video, the positive comments. I, self-proclaimed India fan. I'm also kind of a Pakistan fan too, to be honest with you. And we got Ozjad as a good friend of the channel. Now we got Fazan as a good friend of the channel. I got nothing but love for Pakistan. I'm a huge fan of Shahid Afridi, Shaheen. Sorry, Shaheen. He's a serious youngster and he's got some serious talent. And I'm excited to see what they can do, because Pakistan, for this or that, you call it whatever, it drops or whatever, they're in like that top 5 of most rankings. So they're not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, you must have seen Wasim Akram bowling and thought, his action looks really weird, but the next thing you know, the ball's going all over the place, and you're like, "Whoa, okay, okay, fair enough." Yeah, exactly. The king of swing is what he's been titled, and I'm going to be biased, but I think in my eyes, he's probably the best bowler ever. But a lot of people will probably disagree. Some will agree, some won't. It's all subjective, isn't it? Gabe, obviously you've got affinity with the West Indies. So when you first got into, you guys started getting into cricket, etc., you must have just looked back and thought, we're great, we're so good, and then you looked at it currently and thought, oh, we're not that good anymore though. What's your relationship with the West Indies like at the moment?
The thing about it is here, right? I recently had a video and I mentioned something, and I mentioned it tongue in cheek, but I've gone in the last 6 months, bro. I've had it after I would say the end of the CPL. Yeah, it's been a real bad losing streak, man. It was rough, cousin. It was rough. And I cursed they call me Mush, all right? I don't know if you know the term Mush, but he's this character from a movie, The Bronx Tale, where anything he bets on, he just loses. He's absolute bad luck. And literally, it's been horrible. I ruined CSK. How does that happen? A team who hasn't missed the playoffs misses the playoffs. They never miss the playoffs. First year I root from, they miss the playoffs. But, with that being said, with the West Indies, I'm like, listen, Australia may be able to denounce me and be like, you're done. You can no longer root for Australia. I've had a few fans DM me and say, Gabe, please don't turn on the game, or please don't root for Australia this game. I've been accused of being the reason why GABA was breached, okay, because I was rooting for Australia. But West Indies don't have a choice. They're stuck with me, all right? It's by blood. I was born in the Caribbean. So it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And I was proud. You get that sense of pride, like, oh, you know what? Our team, whether they were great once before or great now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always get excited about watching them play and watching their players do good. because you get that sense of pride. So for me, you know, winning or losing, it doesn't matter. Look, I'm rocking a Knicks hat for the love of Pete. The Knicks have been bad for close to 2 decades, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least you're not what we like to term here glory hunters, so it's all good. You're all loyal. But you know what you guys should do? It's like West Indies. You got to do a reaction vid or montage for Brian Lara or Viv Richards. That will get Gabe really happy, I'm sure. Give him a win after apparently giving every team they supports bad luck. At least he can look back on it fondly.
Yeah, we've done a few videos of the West Indies. We did that on our other channel, Born Reviews, where we review films. Reviewed the film Fire in Babylon. We've also seen some Brian Lara videos. I think we did, what was it, the 400 that he put up, something crazy like that. So trust me, I wish we had those guys now, but the squad we got now is not too bad. They're just young. We need a little time.
Yeah, they've got some like nice young talent coming through there as well. So I think they'll be all right. They'll be good. Nick, like you guys are going to do baseball as well now. Well, you're going to do a stream anyway. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you guys are quite well placed. What are the similarities between baseball and cricket? Are there any?
Oh, there's a bunch. And people, I think the number one comment that we get on either channel when it comes to cricket is, wow, you guys seem to have picked up things very, very quickly in a short amount of time. I mean, it's been like 14 months or something like that. And, you know, I guess I'm to my own horn a little bit here. But honestly, most of the credit goes to the similarities between the two sports. Are they the same? No. Can a baseball player who's an all-star in baseball go ahead and be an all-star in cricket? No, I'm not trying to say that at all. But there's a lot of similarities. You have someone throwing the ball. We call it pitching. Cricket, you call it bowling. We have different types of pitchers in baseball. You have some that can get that gas out there at 95, 98 miles per hour, which seems to be like a common thing nowadays in baseball, which is just insane for those baseball purists because usually it was 1 out of 10 guys can throw it that hard. Now everybody can. But you also had your finesse pitchers. You had guys, some guys, they start off as pitching it really fast, and then they lose some of that velocity, so then they got to be more placement and accurate with the ball. So anyways, the bowling and the pitching, there's a lot of similarities there, but there's also quite a few differences. You have a batter, like you have a batsman. A huge difference is in cricket, the batsman can stay out there as long as they want. A batter in baseball, they only get a few pitches each at bat, and they only get a few at bats each game that they're going to play. But you have, you have the grass out there. You have it's more of a gentleman's game in baseball. A lot of people that don't like baseball, they call it a wussy sport because it's not a contact sport, but it's not supposed to be a contact sport. You have a review system in both sports. You have, you have mano y mano, and you have the fielders behind you where the bowlers or the pitchers in baseball rely on those fielders to do their job. And you have some pitchers that are contact pitchers. They're ground ball pitchers. And yes, they're not going to get too many strikeouts, but their job is to make you hit on the ground by either throwing a breaking ball or a sinker that comes in a little quick or a slider on the outside to have you hit it down to the ground so the fielders can do their job. So you have so many similarities. You have the home run or the six, right? You have the double or you have the boundaries, what I compare it to. But you have so many different things like that there's a lot of similarities. And I think for me and Gabe, knowing baseball, and Gabe coaches baseball, and he has for quite some time, it was easy for us to pick those things up. And last thing I'll say is when we started making comparisons, and more Gabe was, because the comment section would kill us for making those comparisons. Don't ever do it. We'd always hear baseball is brainless, baseball minus brain, or cricket minus brains equals baseball, all this kind of stuff. But we would keep defending. We would keep saying, no, guys, there's similarities. And now our audiences come around. They say, you know what? I watched a baseball game the other day. I watched some highlights. And you're right. There are some similarities. So this baseball stream we have coming up, it's not going to be a regular thing unless the audience wants it. But they've been asking for this. And we just thought, maybe we could have a chance to stream some that we actually know something about. So we're super excited about it.
That's a bit harsh. I think you know something about cricket.
Well, maybe now, but man, it was tough at first, but it's been a great journey.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, no.
One.
I was gonna say, I think Nick hit the nail on the head. The reason that we've been able to pick up on the game so much is because of the similarities. And I think Nick hit the nail on the head where realistically, both sports are so similar because of the fact that baseball, was born from cricket, right? It was America's old version. We try to Americanize everything, you know what I'm saying? which is we put our own spin on it. It is what it is. But realistically, even with the pitching, right? The swing pace, the swing guys would be more like our finesse pitchers, right? Where they're not going to overpower you, but they're going to beat you with location. And our breaking pitcher, our breaking pitchers, the guys that throw the curveballs, those nasty sliders, sinkers, those are the spinners. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not the speed that gets you, but it's the spin and the bounce and trying to. So there's so many facets of the series. Terrible umpiring. That's, right at home. Every baseball fan can understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's horrible. And both games, I think, here's the thing. Nick says, in America, some people consider baseball to be a wussy sport because it's not full contact. It's not supposed to be. But much like cricket, it is a cerebral sport. You got to be able to think. There was a video you had that I saw on your channel, and forgive me if because I can't remember the name of the person you were interviewing, but they was talking about how 90% of cricket is all mental. All right, where it's the same thing in baseball.
Sean Dixon.
Sean Dixon. Here's the thing. All these guys have talent. All right. Johnny Bairstow is as much as even the guys I call trash. Campbell, who by the way got dismissed again at 5 runs from our West Indies, just saying. But even any guy who makes it to the international level is an absolute stud. Of course, I had to do it once this stream. But any guy who makes it to the international level is an absolute stud. The problem is it is all mental and it is about confidence. You know what I mean? And right now, for instance, I feel like that's the issue with Kuldeep Yadav, because if you look at him, he's not hurt. It's not like he can't bowl anymore, but he has lost his confidence. He's lost his way. And it's like he's searching when he's out there. You know what I mean? So most of baseball is cerebral, mental. You got to be smart. Same thing in cricket.
I like the examples as well. Like Gabe, like Nick and Gabe, you'll make a point when they give the examples, and it's almost like you're teachers, but of course you're not, are you? But no, it's a really good point. And actually, I mean, I asked pretty much every cricketer that I've interviewed so far about the mental aspect, and as you said, like some it ranges, but most say between like 75 to 95%. Kind of between that range, which is crazy to think about. And Kuldeep Yadav is a really good example because he was like the next big thing a couple of years back. And then, I mean, his confidence has been shattered. He doesn't even I don't think he's even first choice for his domestic side. I think it's Chakravarti who failed a fitness test. That's the only reason why he wasn't in the Indian side. So, yeah, I mean, it just shows how much of the game is mental. And as someone who plays cricket, but not at an amazingly high level, but I play for my local club, that I open the batting as well. So it's like mentally very tough because if you get out first ball and then you're fielding 50 overs, you're just like, why am I here? Which of course fielding's fine, it's good, but let's be honest, as someone who's not an elite cricketer, it's not that much fun. I'm going to be honest. Whereas, for these guys, they get paid for it. It's a bit different, but even for them, even more so because they're under a lot more scrutiny. And you mentioned the baseball aspect. Actually, one of the most recent interview I did, which was with Benny Howell. You guys might know, he played a couple of games for Melbourne Renegades, the first 2 in the Big Bash. But then I think he didn't play the rest because he was actually a replacement player. And basically he was saying to me that, actually I did some research on him because he plays here in the UK. And he actually got fascinated by, I think it's a Miami, it's a baseball team, Miami, Marlins, yeah. Miami Marlins versus another team. He went there and watched it, and like you guys said, there's similarities. He was fascinated by it, by the interaction between pitchers and batters, and like the game plans, etc. And so what he did, he became a backup pitcher in Australia, right?
Really?
For a season, yeah. And so he was basically playing baseball for a season in the off season here in the UK, and so he was playing out there. So I guess it'll be the winter time here, and he said that it really helped him. So he's a T20 specialist. So he's got like 12 to 13 different variations. And he said that playing baseball helped him with his different grips of how to bowl. And it was amazing. Like he was talking to me about it. And I was thinking to myself, he's someone who is just very, like he said, I've got an obsessive personality. So like when something interests me, I've got to like go for it. And he was so intriguing to hear about. When you guys talk about baseball, the similarities, it shows that there are some for sure, which is really interesting.
If I can interject real quick, just about baseball and cricket. There's obviously quite a few differences, but one huge difference, and a lot of people in the audience, in the comment section, again, we have a lot of good ones. I keep focusing on the negative ones, but those are the ones that make me think. Those are the ones that actually drive me to try to be better because they'll make up some good points. But a lot of times people are like, man, you guys expect the cricketers to be on fire every single match, and you guys are tough on the umpires. And watch baseball for like a few games. You'll understand. Like, this is how, and other American sports too. In baseball, you will have, jabbing or conversations back and forth, angry ones. I can't think of the word right now, but swearing, F-bombs back and forth between the batter and the pitcher all the time. You'll have the batter swearing at the umpire. They can't take it too far, but saying like, that was a ball, that was a strike or whatever. I mean, it happens all the time. You'll have people rushing the field at least once or twice a season. And so those situations, those are way different in cricket where you wouldn't even think. I mean, you have your sledging, but even that, to your point earlier, you got to be very careful with it. So it's one thing I'm super excited to do the stream. And so to show some of the people that want to watch it, like, hey, this is how it's a little different. But I just want to mention that point because there are some differences. But let me ask you a question, Fazan, because this is something that me and Gabe still don't understand. You mentioned being an opener for your local club. We hear all the time that not everyone can open, okay? And not everyone can play at every single spot in the lineup. Please explain that to me. Explain the difficulties and why not everyone can be an opener.
It kind of depends on your mentality. So I guess in cricket, obviously the new ball's such a big thing. And here in the UK especially, so like Gabe mentioned Sean Dixon, so he's an opening batsman for one of the counties here, Durham. And he said like he has this back and forth with a lot of his teammates. Like, as an opener, what's your main goal? Is it to take the shine off the new ball so that it's easier for the guys lower down to come in and hit? Like, a good reference is like Rishabh Pant, people like that, Hardik Pandya for India, for example. Or is it a case of scoring quickly, like a Sehwag, right? Who I'm using the India example because we're on that. And I think it's a mental thing. Some players don't want, and they don't cope well with the ball moving a lot. And it's swinging and nipping, and you have to be very disciplined opening the batting, if I'm being honest with you, especially here in the UK where the conditions are overcast for most of the part. It can be a bit cold as well. And you're using a red ball, it's a Duke as well, which swings a lot more than a Kookaburra. But just in general, opening the batting, you need to have this mindset at times that, you know what, it's going to be too good for me. I need to leave well, especially, and that's what you see in Test cricket, right? Most opening batsmen are not particularly attacking. But whereas if you go further down, like for example, I guess a good example is someone in the middle order. Like, you wouldn't have, for example, Hardik Pandya wouldn't open the batting for India, even though he's a fantastic striker of the ball. But some people prefer coming in and spins on, and a spin is normally going to be in the middle overs. Whereas opening, it's going to be swing, it's going to be a bit of seam potentially as well. And you've got to have the mindset of, you know what, I'm going to dig in here and almost bat the innings. If you don't have the mindset of I'm not going to bat the innings, then you shouldn't be opening the batting. Whereas people lower down the order, they are going to be with a mindset like your Rishabh Pant, your Hardik Pandya, that we'll go and we'll score quickly. But if you take that up, if you think about it, you take that up to open, you can be in a case if you've got two people that open like that, and even in 50 over cricket, you could be 0 for 2, right, in the space of a couple of overs. And especially in Test cricket, like, it's even more so. But I think it's more mental. And I think all sports, I'm assuming in baseball it's the same, because I feel like all elite sports are like this. It's about your approach to the game and outlook. And I feel that some people are just not built for it. And some people, like, there's a guy at my club, for example, he is so talented, right? He could probably score 100 every week. I'm not joking. The level that he plays at, he could play a lot higher. But he has a mental block, which is he wants to hit everything for 6 pretty much. Yeah. And he'll get out in really silly ways. Like, you guys would love watching him because he scored, I think, like 180 one week, right? Next week, gets out for a duck. And this is what I'm talking about. And he's hitting balls, right?
It reminds me of someone.
Yeah. I was going to say, Bairstow light, bro. Bairstow light. You know what I mean?
He's slog sweeping balls, right, onto the train tracks, like where we are. And then next thing you know, he can't play there's like a really promising 17, 18-year-old who comes on, and he'll get cleaned up by him. And it's just because he's on the mindset of, I'm just going to try and hit everything. He's got all the shots in the book. He can probably play a lot higher level, but his mental state's just not there. So he needs another guy at the other end to tell him, you know what, just relax, don't worry, you'll get your runs. But he wants to go 100 miles an hour, right? And I'm not talking about a guy who's in his 20s. He's like nearly 40, but he's so super talented. He's been playing he's been playing this type of cricket for ages, but he just can't get out of that mentality, and he just wants to play it. It just depends on the person, right? And the outlook, I think. Sorry for the elongated answer.
Sorry, that reminds me in baseball of a hitter that likes the high pitch and he can't lay off it because he's going to strike out so many times off it. So last question, and I'll stop hogging the interview here. Would you say, as from the analyzing side, from our side where we're commenting and we're talking about matches, that it's not fair, and I love numbers, to compare the strike rates of our opening partnership to the strike rates of a 3 or 4 or 5 batsmen? Would you say it's fair not to compare those strike rates because some opening batsmen, they want to get that shine off, they want to last, they want to establish, and not so much strike as another batsman would?
In Test cricket, I think, yes, 100% you can't compare. And Gabe will know, like Craig Brathwaite scores really slowly for the most part. And then you have Carl Mayers come in, for example, and he'll score a lot quickly. Well, he'll score a lot quicker. So yeah, like you can't. I feel like definitely in Test cricket you can't. Nowadays, I think in T20s you can. But to be fair, the last 10 overs, really you want to be going at a strike rate of like 180 plus. That's good probably for a finisher. Whereas in the first 10, yeah, you want to be going at probably, I don't know, you probably want to be going at least a 130 probably plus strike rate. So I think there's still that difference, but it's less so. Whereas in Test cricket, it's a lot higher. And in ODIs, I mean, it depends like what your outlook is. Because like a really good example is England had this philosophy of going hard in the first 10, Roy and Bairstow. India in the first 10, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan are not as like, they'll go at 4 and over, for example. And it can work. They build a platform. So I think it depends on the makeup of the team, but overall in Test cricket, 100%, like you got to give a bit of leeway to the openers. In T20 cricket, not as much nowadays. Like you got to go, especially the power play. Like there's only 2 guys out as well. Like you got to utilize it. If you don't, then you're not playing the game right. And in ODIs to a degree, but I mean a team like India can get away with it because they're so talented, right? And they've just got that strength and depth. But yeah, good questions. You flipped the video on its head. I like that. I guess just to finish up though as well, guys, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. And also, I think I'm probably gonna go completely pitch black here. I thought I'd do outside because it'll be quite nice. Like I've been outside working and it's not normally that warm here. Guys, thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate it. And apologies if it's gone a bit longer than anticipated as well. I know you guys are on vacation. Well, both on vacation. Some with family, some without family. You know how it is. I'm sure you'll both be enjoying it. Is there anything you guys want to touch upon before we wrap up?
I just want to say thank you so much for having us on your channel. This is the power of Gabe. I'm going to throw one on the bus right now. My man loves to talk so much, and I talked a lot too, so I guess I got to include myself. CFA, that we made it come from day to nighttime in this interview. That's how we rock. Thanks for having us on. I thoroughly have enjoyed this. I have not had to pretend whatsoever. I've enjoyed this 100%. It's been a nice, fun conversation. You had some great questions, and we'll be looking out for quality shot. We're going to make sure we send you CFA Nation once this video gets posted. So let us know when that happens. And CFA Nation, if you're watching this right now, go ahead and give those likes. Go ahead and subscribe. Hook up Fasan. Let him know what you know. And give us your prediction, guys. But with all that being said, thank you so much, Fasan. We appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate it. And actually, just to wrap up, I mean, it's fantastic to have you guys on, have a fresh new outlook as well. Some of the old guard can be a bit stale. You'll see pundits and people on, but because you guys have got this fresh and really, I was saying to Nick before Gabe actually that you guys have got really good energy. It's great. You're really pumped. It's fantastic, and I think it definitely shows. And clearly, that's why everyone loves the channel. So, no, I really appreciate you guys coming on. It's been fantastic fun, and let's do it again sometime when you guys. I know you guys are in demand as well. I know you guys are. I can tell, and so hopefully we can catch up again soon. But I really appreciate it, and yeah, let's do it again sometime soon.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
And actually, sorry, I forgot to say. I'm sure everyone has already done so. But please do remember to go over to CFA, Cricket for Americans, and Boring Reviews. Any other YouTube channels I need to be aware of?
We have the Final Reaction, which is our new baby right now.
Okay, and the Final Reaction.
All American content.
Okay, perfect. Go and check out those channels, subscribe to them. and support. I'm sure most of my followers do already, knowing you guys. You're the big dogs. Cool. Thank you very much, guys.